Hey gang, Christos here with Better at BI, and I'm re-recording my introduction video for introduction into Power BI. I realized that there was a sync issue going on with the old video, so this isn't necessarily a new video, but like before, please hit like and subscribe if you're interested in seeing more of these videos, and always comment below. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear some ideas for other shows like this. Okay, enjoy the video. Thanks. So here's the introduction to Power BI Desktop. This is the first step in the process. We got to get our data. Again, if you're viewing this, if you're a consumer, if you need to use Power BI Desktop so you can get some data and someone has already dumped a bunch of data for you, this is how you're going to connect to it. So this splash screen that you're seeing is a default. Again, this happens to be the June 2021 version. I want to close that. And Power BI says, oh, you need some data. Here are some options. But let's go to data, get data, and let's go down here to text/CSV. A lot of large data dumps are going to be in text or CSV, but you can see you've got access to Excel as well if you need that. So I'm going to go ahead and select text.csv, and I'm going to go and find the file that I happen to put out there so that we can use this demo. So I'm going to scroll through here, find my Better at BI folder, and there's my text file. Now it's going to read through this data, and it's going to look at the first 200 rows of data, and it's going to return a sample set, right? And it's going to give me an opportunity to decide what I want to do. So there it is right there. Now we're not looking to do any quality control here. We're just looking to see if the columns are what we expected and if the data kind of looks like what we thought it would look like. So there's the load button. So there's a load button, and then there's this transform data button. Let's go ahead and hit load for right now. In another video, we'll discuss what the transform data does. But basically, if you have a lot of data and you need to make some changes, let's say you want to strip out the area code, that's what you're going to do in that transform. So right now, it's drinking in all this data. A little bit of background on this data. This is free data. It's publicly available data that's been made public by the City of Cincinnati Health Department. So you saw how quick that was. My 5 megabytes of data have come in. I'm kind of looking at this screen here to see, okay, what do I have everything? I think so. Now, always save your data. Some of us are on older PCs. I happen to be on a Surface Pro 3. So I need to save everything, and it's best to save it on your local computer to kind of increase your performance. So we're going to go ahead and save this file, and we're going to name it something, and that's that. We have our data, we've saved it. It's that simple. And so once you've got your data saved, you can start playing around with it. You can start manipulating it. You can start building some tables and fields, and that's going to happen in the next video. Okay, so once you've got your file, or excuse me, your data into Power BI and you've done your save, this is kind of what you're going to see. So you'll see here again, we've got our data all the way over to the right. And let's go ahead and start running this video again. So now you can see I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start grabbing a field. So that's the business name. I'm going to click and drag that over into this area, and it starts to make a table. Power BI is pretty smart at that. Now I'm extending it so I can make a larger table. Now I'm going to grab a couple of other fields as well just to start populating this simple table. So there's the inspection type, and I'm going to bring in this other field right here. Okay, and so now as you can see, I'm very easily just clicking and dragging and bringing in my data to build a table. So there's the violation description. Now you can say that's awesome sauce, but I need to be able to filter it. It's too much data. So the way you filter is you click on one of those spaces like I just did, right? And now click and drag in a field. Now that looks pretty interesting. Now I'm going to make that, I'm going to select that slicer button. little background. There are filters and there are slicers. And in Power BI speak, the slicer is the filter that is on your canvas. A filter is something that is not normally seen, and that's over here over on the right, towards the center right of the screen. You'll see where it says filter. So there'll be a little more nuanced video coming out with that, but for right now, let's just refer to these as a slicer. You can see I've brought in the date, and you see how it looks. Oh, okay, well, it's not necessarily datified, if you will. So I'm going to make a change by hitting this little drop down box and selecting the date like that. And now Power BI is going to give me the option, a drop down box, or I can choose greater than or equal to or between or relative date. I think we're just going to select the between, so we get this little slider right here. So now we have now applied our first filter, the date filter, to this data. So let's click in a blank space, click on slicer again. Now let's bring in another field. Let's bring in the community, the neighborhood. So it made a little list. So I want to make that a drop down box just to make it a little cleaner, right? So now I can hit this drop down box. I can select something or not select something. One more time, click on a white space, click on slicer, and now let's bring in one more field. How about this field here? Okay, so we'll bring in that field right there, and this is the status. Is it abated? Is it not abated? So again, the health department, I don't understand exactly everything that's happening with the health department's numbers, but now we've just created three filters, slicers, if you will, that are now interactive. We can now use these to kind of dissect the data below. As you can see, we're kind of playing around with it, right? You can click on here or click on there. And so there you have it. Really, that's as easy. That's the easiest way to create slicers. You can add more data to those tables as you want to, as you need to, but that's pretty much it. So with this video, we're going to show how to create some simple bar charts and line charts. Again, this is the data from the health department, the Cincinnati Health Department, so it's public data. It's available to anyone. This happens to be just the 2021 year-to-date data. So we've already got our slicers up top. You see the action date, the community, and the action status. If you've watched the previous video, there was a table down below, and I've deleted that table. So let's go ahead and click Start, and you can see here that there are my slicers. Again, I'm just showing them again. Now I'm going to click on this line chart, or excuse me, the bar chart, and I'm going to click on a blank space in my canvas, then click on bar chart, and I'm going to bring over a field. In this case, I'm going to bring over the business name. And you see where I dropped it? I dropped it right there because I could have dropped that file in the chart, in the chart, but I opted to just drop it under access. So let's keep moving here, and now I need something to count. So I'm going to bring over the violation key and the values, and I'm going to select count. So there you go, simple bar chart. I don't have to do anything with those filters. They automatically apply to the charts down below, and you can see that by when I reset all my filters, or at least those filters, I get more data. So the next thing I want to do is a line chart. So by clicking on a blank space, I'm going to now click on the line chart, and I'm going to bring in the date and the violation key. So first, let's do the violation key under values, because that's going to be our count. And now you see I've got one. So now I want to bring in the action date. So pay attention to this right here. So Power BI automatically, if it's a real date, if it recognizes it as a date, it's going to try to create this hierarchy. Now that might be good, it might be bad. It's up to you to decide, and it's up to your needs. But I'm going to delete this. I'm going to make a couple of changes. I got rid of the day there. I might get rid of something else, but here, this little button that I'm hovering over right now, that's kind of the drill down button. That's the button you're going to look at, or you're going to click to go from year to month to day. So by clicking on that, you'll see me go from year, and I'll go to there you go. So I went to month, and if I wanted to go to day, I'll go to day as well. Um, but now you can see me clicking through the filters, and you can see how it makes some adjustments. And that's it, really. It's that simple to create a bar chart and a filter. You don't have to do anything different. I can just, at this point, I'm just kind of clicking around to show you just different ways that the data moves. If I click on one of those bars, one of the names on the bars, it automatically filters what's in the line chart and vice versa. There's not a lot of data for this example, so it's not as bouncy, if you will. The line chart's not as bouncy, but that's it, really. That's a simple bar chart and a simple line chart in Power BI. You can now add as many or as few of these as you want. You can duplicate this screen. You can you can make multiple copies. So simple bar chart and line charts in Power BI. So again, my name is Christos Zagorianos. I'm on a mission to make everybody better at BI. I want to thank you for watching this introduction into Power BI video. I hope you can get something from this. I hope if it hasn't helped you with a specific problem, maybe it's kind of gotten the wheels turning a little bit. But yeah, let me know what you think, and I look forward to hearing from you.